Hey y'all, hi. So I've been doing a lot of getting ready really quickly in the morning, just like putting on makeup as quickly as I can, but enjoying it. You know, it's like, I love makeup. I want to relish it. I want to be excited by what I'm using, but I've had a lot of days where I'm not getting ready for camera and I'm not even really like going anywhere, doing anything except working at home, but I want to put makeup on. And it's just that, oh my gosh, Hannah, the long and short of it is I have like a quick face that's been working really well. And whenever I settle into a vibe with a certain combination of products for a certain length of time, I always like to just film that and let you know kind of what I've been doing. Current face, current go-to. You get it. Let's go ahead and get into the meat of the video. It's actually the first time I've filmed in a while. I feel like I'm rusty. I'm sitting here going like, oh, I forgot how to do it. This is the first time that I've been on camera with my hair cut down. There have been a bunch of videos out of order. My hair has been like all one length and then bangs and then all one length and bangs over the past couple of weeks because I filmed videos got shuffled in editing and in between I got a haircut. You get what I'm saying? Oh my gosh, bear with me today. This is clearly going to be a slightly rocky one. So when I first got this cut, it's still kind of bananas looking. Like I didn't want to lose any length. So I ended up with this very long shag bob that's like extremely vintage looking, especially if I haven't styled it at all and it's just sort of doing its thing. Extremely retro looking, like it really looks like a relic of the 70s, I would say. And I am into that. It was really intense at the beginning. I also did a little bit of trimming. I used a razor, like a safety razor, to shorten the bangs a little. I didn't want them to be too short, but then they were too long and they were like puffing way up. I took a little bit of weight out of the underneath of the sides here because I have so much hair growing out of here and it was just puffing way up. So I made it a little bit less square, I would say. I'm in a little bit more just like wash and go, but it still looks like so intense when it's just its shape. I like it some days, but other days I just feel like it's very wig-like. You know, one of my favorite attempt at trolling comments of all time was somebody commented, "Your hair looks like a bad wig." This is like a deep cut for my channel because this is a long time ago. It still just gets me. It still really gets me every time. It's so good because that's the thing. My hair really does look like a bad wig. I have now lived like all of my 40 years with my hair. If I had to boil it down to one thing, like one sentence explaining what it's like to live a life with this head of hair, almost no matter what I do without fail, it looks like a bad wig. This cut is particularly bringing that out of it. For the first week or so, I was wearing it up all the time because I needed some time to get used to it. Now I feel like I've washed it a few times. It's come into its own. I've done a little bit of tinkering. And so I just wanted to show you the shape because, you know, you're all nosy. Okay. So this is the shape, but I'm going to put it up to put makeup on. I also remember I asked my stylist what other people, if you want your hair to be this shape, what to ask for. And she said a rounded shaggy bob. So it's a shaggy bob. It's a shag. It's a shag haircut that's bob length basically, but it's not a choppy bob. It is, she said, like a rounded shag. So sort of a softly round shaped shag. I never miss a chance to show a machete hair clip on YouTube. They make just the best accessories. If you like things like this, but you want it to be basically heirloom quality, machete. I will also try to remember to link the straight razor that I use on my hair or something similar. I took Jane Matthews' online class about cutting your own bangs years ago, and that's how I know how to do it. I'm not just making it up. I learned about like how to cut curtain bangs, what the structure of bangs is, how to razor cut your own hair, how to take weight out of this part of your hair if there's too much, which is my constant plague. I will link all of that stuff. And I like the haircut overall. I actually really like it. It's exciting to have something so stylized and dramatic. It's like I'm trying to soften how stylized it wants to be, which is really interesting. It kind of goes to this, I don't know, like semi-Bridget Bardot place pretty easily when I put it up. And this, I've taken as much of it back as I can, except for the bangs, because I'm going to put on makeup. But it's also really cute. And I just kind of put the back up and a lot of the shag is like still around my face. And I've been wearing it that way a lot too. Okay, 5-minute face. It's already been more than 5 minutes. I have been wearing sunscreen. I've been going on more walks lately and I've been wearing sunscreen every day. The Elta MD green sunscreen is still my favorite. I have been using this one when I go on walks. Usually I get up and before putting on makeup, I like put a lot of sunscreen on and then go on a walk. And then when I'm getting ready for the rest of the day with makeup, I'm usually using the Elta MD, which I've shown on camera several times. But I wanted to show this to you because this came in PR. It's called the Mineral Melt and it's by Dune Sun Care. A lot of sunscreen comes in PR. I dislike most of it. Most of it is tinted with orange and really darkens my skin. Pills is too thick. There's just a lot of mediocre sunscreen that I try and then never end up talking about on camera. This has really impressed me. This is wonderful. It is a mineral sunscreen. It says the sheerest mineral SPF in a proprietary doctor-developed formula packed with clinically proven skincare benefits. And it really feels like it's a K-beauty product. It feels like one of those amazing Korean sunscreens, but it's all mineral. I've just really been enjoying using it. It just feels soothing to apply. It feels good to apply. It feels so much like a nice moisturizing skincare product that I find myself rubbing it into my lips, which I guess is good if I'm going outside. If I'm not using an SPF on my lips, it's good. I just feel like I've been waiting my whole life for us to get far enough along in cosmetic formulations for there to be a sunscreen that I love putting on because it really feels like skincare. And this is that way. The Elta MD is that way. Again, I've mostly been using this as a sport sunscreen for my face. And then the one I use on my body is actually my toddler's sunscreen, or we all use it. The brand is called Pipette. So it's a spray sunscreen. You have to rub it in, but it just makes application really easy that you can spray it on and then go over and rub it in. That's also a really good mineral sunscreen for the body. Dune Sun Care, good job. Now, a little bit of green color corrector I have usually been applying. Still Givenchy Prism Libre. That's still the one that I have. I'm using it almost every day. I've been putting it mostly just where I have the redness, right? Kind of the inside, where I have redness that needs to be covered. It's sometimes I have redness here on my cheeks, and I'm going to put blush there. You know what I mean? I'm going to put something there later. So I don't need to put it. I don't need to cover it or color correct it and then apply stuff on top. But I do want to take down the redness here on my chin. But I haven't had that much redness lately. I mean, there's some, and the green color corrector helps, but I think some of the skincare, I talked about it in a recent video, the Mother Science serum, I think it's really helping my skin. Are you ready for this? I've been getting back into the Salt New York Sneaky Balm for an initial layer because it's so sneaky and it's so moisturizing. I was using for a really long time the Lisa Eldridge, which I still really, really love. Let's look at the colors. Lisa Eldridge makes this skin tint that is in a light olive shade that is a genuine light olive, which is so difficult to find. I've been feeling like this is it's like this soft, almost like velvet, but velvet finish. I'm just addicted to how good of a match it is for my skin, how easy it is to apply, how quick and easy, how much it looks like skin. But remember when I did that backwards makeup video? My skin was just looking really fresh and natural and like itself and sort of dewy and plump. And then as one of the last steps, I applied just the littlest bit of this over the parts of my face where I hadn't put the blush and the bronzer and stuff. And I felt like it made the entire look suddenly much more like makeup. That made me aware that the finish of this, it's maybe not as fresh as I kind of want for the summer. But then I was like, oh, but the light olive shade. And then I remembered that Salt New York is the other makeup brand on this earth that has a truly great kind of neutral olive pale color. So there is the Lisa Eldridge skin tint. It's the one that's closer to my thumb, next to Salt New York Sneaky Balm, which is the one that's closer to my pinky here. And you can see that the Sneaky Balm is sneakier, right? It's a little bit more like skin. It's also a better match. This makes me see that Lisa Eldridge is really quite like a yellow olive, like a pale yellow olive, whereas the Salt New York is just that incredibly neutral, custom mixed neutral shade that's not plagued by yellow or peach or pink or any of the weird shades that we tend to get in complexion shade ranges from more mainstream brands. So I dug this back out. I started using it again. I remembered how much I love it. So because I'm still obsessed with the Gucci bronzer, we'll get there in a second, I've been using this on a brush and a really light application because it is quite balmy, not in the way of really goopy balms that stay slick on the cheeks throughout the day, for example. I want to work like a thin layer into the skin rather than smearing a thick layer atop the skin. Okay, so there it is applied on the left side of my face, but not the right. And you can see how beautiful it has made the skin look, right there. It's doesn't look made up and it looks so dewy, but it's not wet or balmy to the touch. I mean, I guess it's a little tacky to the touch, but in a skincare way, not a Vaseline way. And you just can't really see it. That's the thing that I love that I've been craving in the summer. Can't really see it even really close up. It's taken down the slight blotchiness enough so that I don't even feel like I need to do this, but I have been taking a little bit on my finger and just concealing darker spots. There is also a concealer, a more pigmented version of the same thing from Salt New York. I find it quite balmy, the concealer. Sometimes if I have a pretty stubborn dark spot, I'll use a little bit of it. The Sneaky Balm tends to be enough for me. Like I can build it up enough, at least for how my skin is doing right now. So I just wanted to show you the side-by-side comparison, both coverage and finish, because the finish is part of what I've been relishing. So that's what I've been doing for complexion. We just had some technical difficulties and had to take a break. So if there was like a weird jump cut and my hair suddenly changed shape or like a piece went over there, that is why. Because I've been sitting here kind of messing with my hair for 5 minutes. That's what I'm doing for complexion. I have a renewed appreciation for the Salt New York Sneaky Balm. I have been putting it, I sort of intimated this before. Again, just like the color corrector, only where I need it. I haven't really been putting it on my cheeks because I've been going with the powder bronzer. Most days, I haven't always been doing this, but most days I've been hitting it with a little bit of powder, still the NARS translucent crystal light reflecting setting powder, but not a lot because I don't want that beautiful finish to go. But I've just been like getting it around my mouth a tiny bit and then kind of around the edges of where the balm is creeping onto my cheeks to ease the way for the bronzer. The Sneaky Balm plays well with powder. Sometimes I just slap, I like sit down, sunscreen, slap on a little Sneaky Balm, slap on the bronzer and go. Like I've been doing that some days. Some days I haven't even been doing my brows. I think it's because of the bangs. I just realized that. I think it's because of the bangs. It's like a little bit of a tangled and undone brow doesn't hit as weird with other makeup when there are bangs like literally meeting them there on the forehead. Sometimes it's just been Sneaky Balm, bronzer, and that's it. But usually when I'm taking the time, the full 5 minutes, I'll just sweep the merest bit of powder on the cheeks. The Gucci bronzer in shade 1. I can't get enough. And neither can you all. Whenever I wear this, the comments are full of people saying, your makeup looks amazing. And it's just this. I mean, it might be everything that I'm doing today, but it's really just this bronzer. So I just dipped the brush in one time. I'm using this Rephr bronzer brush, the Rephr 30. I guess that's the number 30, the Rephr 30. I just dipped it in one time and didn't really tap it off too much, but then I sort of distributed the powder equally on both of my cheeks, buffed it in on the outside edges of my cheeks, over my forehead a little bit. That's enough for one day if I'm not going for like a super bronzed look, which I have been doing a little bit lately. But I think for today, I don't know, I'm kind of enjoying with this shirt, like the creaminess instead of trying to, I've been doing some like bronzing up my neck. There's nothing really left on the brush, but it just helps hit it a little bit. Yeah, it helps calm down the shocking whiteness of my neck a little bit. But I feel like that's enough for today. It's pretty pigmented. A little bit goes a long way, as you saw, but it's pretty easy to control. So there haven't been any days since like the first time I applied it, which tragically was on camera. Since that time, there haven't been any times when it's like, oh my gosh, I used way too much. But here's what I've been doing. I've been alternating on my lids between using the Jillian Dempsey lid tint, which I really like. It's just this clear with like maybe a tiny bit of shimmer. It makes the lids look dewy. It's like a lid gloss, but it's not goopy and it doesn't migrate, or it's so lightweight that even if it does migrate a little bit, it doesn't appear creasy. Just the perfect everyday je ne sais quoi cosmetic for the lids. I've been alternating between that and bronzing the lids. And I think the bronzing is what I want today. Actually, I'm going to do the lid tint today. I wanted to show you. So I'll just tell you though, what I've been doing is just using my same bronzer brush. This is like in the spirit of 5-minute makeup, pinching a little bit, using like, making like a small brush out of the big brush and dipping it in and like using that on my lids. That's what I've been doing most days. But I think in the spirit of keeping this a slightly lighter look, I'm going to go for the lid tint. Again, what I was saying about the shirt and everything overall being a little bit lighter, because adding bronzer to the lids surprisingly really adds voltage to the makeup as like a makeup look pretty quickly. I love this stuff. Here's a close-up. It's a lid tint in the shade Dew. It's a little bit hard to see what it looks like on camera, but I think you can see on my lids the effect that it has caused. It also comes in colors, but I think the pigmented, I think I've had one of those a long time ago, and I think the pigment does gather a little bit in the ones with more color in them. This like clear, sheer, glossy one, I think it's just perfect. And yeah, that goes better with what I'm doing on the rest of the face. Brows, I've been doing not that much. Most days, I just put in a little $1 billion brow gel and shape them. It's just the strongest hold brow gel that I happen to have on hand right now. It's like the one that I have going. Today though, I'm also going to go in with the Typology brow gel, which is like a fiber building gel. So I started putting the Typology brow gel in while the really strong hold brow gel from $1 Billion Brows was still wet. So it dries really stiff and crunchy, and it would be hard to get a brush through if it had already dried. They're kind of mixed together. The Typology, I don't know, it adds some of that fullness that I appreciate in a brow, but still leaves it pretty casual because it didn't fill in at all. Like I didn't draw on my skin with anything. I just kind of added color and a little bit of oomph to the brow hairs themselves. I like how they ended up looking. But that's really doing the most. Lately, I have again, because of these bangs, I've been sort of doing the least with my brows. I had pinned back this piece of hair. One thing about this haircut, bangs are coming from pretty far back right now. I just lightened up the bangs a little bit by pinning more of them back. So we're almost done with my 5-minute face, like 35 minutes later. It takes so much longer to film putting on makeup than it does to put on makeup. On my lashes, I am still extremely impressed with the Kulfi mascara, but I've been getting more of a doll-like look from it than I want every day, especially with lighter makeup like today. So I've kind of gone back to the HALLIE Ray. This is just a little sampler tube, so it's starting to get used up and dry up, and I'm getting an even lighter look because of that. I've been wanting that lately, so that's part of why I have been choosing it instead of the one from Kulfi. Although recently when I went to New York and I was like out and about doing things, I took the Kulfi one with me and that was my go-to. It's like my favorite mascara discovery lately. Just for the 5-minute face, actually, I've been using HALLIE Ray. Both of these are tubing mascaras. Can you believe it? Here we are in 2025 and I'm into 2 tubing mascaras. I thought I would never love a tubing mascara and I was so wrong. Both of these give a nice fluffy wispy lash instead of that kind of stuck together goopy weird spider lash that I had come to expect from tubing mascaras. I must say, when I like the application of a tubing mascara, the benefit, which is that they're so easy to get off at the end of the day, is really nice. I tested a mascara that came in PR. It wasn't a tubing mascara and I was taking off my makeup at the end of the day and I was like, what is this? Like how quickly I've gotten accustomed to having the mascara just kind of slide off and not make a mess. I was like washing my face with a washcloth and I was like, this is disgusting, like black goop everywhere, which is just how it's been for like most of my life. I wasn't expecting it. Okay, lips. So when I'm doing the most, I've still been using a brown lip liner, like one of the Merit ones or the Samaya Liberica. It's so good. With 5-minute face, I haven't really been using the most. I've been using one of these brown liquid glosses. Refi Sepia is on top there. It's a nice woody brown. And then Boba Bounce from Edem is underneath. It's more of a rosewood. That's what I'm going to use right now. Each of these has like a heavy metal applicator, which is really in vogue right now for lip products. I like that a lot. The Edem Lip Softening Balm is nice and thick. I like the scent. It's like a spicy, comforting scent. It's not too sweet. It's not too vanilla. It's not too fruity. I definitely get like a lip smoothing effect from it. I feel like it makes my lips look really satiny smooth. It's really easy to overline a tiny bit and have it look natural instead of totally out of control. This is a fresh application. That's how it's going to look like after 30 minutes or an hour. That's like how it's going to look for most of the day. Really natural. It's also quite thick, so it doesn't wear off instantly or soak in and go away. I like that juicy look of it freshly applied. This is what we're actually dealing with the 5-minute face. So that's it. This is me now. This is what I've been wearing most days and how I've been ending up looking most days lately. I will say with the bronzer on the lids, it's like a more cohesive bronzed look. Like it sort of changes the overall shade of my skin if I use more bronzer. So if I use more bronzer on my neck and more bronzer on my lids, it's a slightly different version of this that also only takes 5 minutes that I have been doing a lot. If I use a cream blush instead of bronzer, which is another variation on the theme that I have been doing quite a lot, I just wanted to show you how it's been going with me and the Gucci bronzer, you know? But if I use a cream blush, I would say it ends up looking even more like no makeup, like even more natural. It's kind of like leaning into what the Sneaky Balm offers in terms of the finished complexion. Whereas adding the bronzer, I feel like does add a little bit of that makeup flair. This is essentially the situation. I hope you enjoyed this little check-in video. Thank you for spending this time with me. Don't forget to take extra good care of yourself so that you can be the most effective version of yourself as you do your work in the world.